Right now at 5:30, we're tracking breaking news this morning. Lexington police are on the scene of a death investigation. We'll have an update live from the scene.
Also on WKYT this morning, students back on campus today after a threatening message was found at Eastern Kentucky University. It forced school officials to cancel classes there last week.
And the Democratic candidates for president took to the stage last night for their first televised debate. We'll break it down coming up.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning to you. It's Wednesday morning, October 14th, almost the middle of the month. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Rebecca Smith. Really seems to have flown by this month.
It really does. October is flying, and we're heading right into the holiday season quickly.
And right into cooler weather, which is, you know, a sign of the times, I guess, Micah.
Yeah, Annie, you don't want it to fly by at this time of year, but it does. October, November, into December. I mean, next thing we know, we're going to blink and it's next year, but you don't want it to fly by because it gets colder and colder as we move along. Madison County looks good. You can see for miles, so no visibility issues. Temperatures in the 40s, a couple of 50s here and there, but all in all, it is a chilly start to the day. We get into the afternoon, we'll be right around 67 degrees. Now, you will have sunshine all day long, but I want to show you this. You have some clouds filtering in later on during the afternoon. Just a few clouds. It's not going to be cloudy skies, but if you get under those clouds, it can be chilly at times. I'll show you a little bit warmer temperature and then a huge blast coming in towards your weekend, 15 to 20 degrees below what you're seeing there on the screen. I'll have that coming up in a few minutes.
All right, that in about 10 minutes or so. Thank you. And WKYT is tracking a breaking news alert in Lexington this morning. Police say a death investigation is right now underway on the city's south side.
Police responded to the train tracks that's behind Lowe's near Fayette Mall just after 2 o'clock this morning. We're told one person is dead. Police are now questioning someone right now. WKYT's Michelle Chamberlain is live from the scene on Nichols Park Drive. Good morning.
Yes, Lexington police are working a death investigation this morning. About 3 hours ago, police were called out here as a body was found on the railroad tracks underneath the bridge on Man o' War. I'm right next to the Lowe's on Nichols Park Drive here in Lexington. Now, just a few minutes ago, a worker at a nearby gas station gave me some information. He told us 2 men in their 20s walked in around 1 o'clock this morning. One of the men covered in blood. He said the 2 men went into the bathroom, and a few moments later, one of the men ran out of the store. The second one came out. He was the one that was initially covered in blood. He informed the worker he had just been deer hunting, and he left the store. Police did come into the store to ask that worker questions later on. Now, police say the original call went out as a possible fight, but they have not determined if that is exactly the case. What we do know is that one person is dead. Police are not releasing how that person died. Another person is being questioned right now at police headquarters, and we're working on getting more information, and police are telling us they'll be able to get more information once the sun comes out, and they are investigating. Live in Lexington, Michelle Chamberlain, WKYT.
All right, Michelle, thank you. We'll stay on top of that. And school officials have canceled classes at Eastern Kentucky University over the last week after they found that threatening message on campus. Well, today students are back to school and back there on the campus this morning.
Yeah, and security, of course, has been increased, but investigators still have not pinned down who is responsible for that threat. WKYT's Mark Barber is live from Richmond. Mark, what do you think the atmosphere will be like on campus?
Good morning, Rebecca. And that death threat is really disrupting campus life. It has already led EKU leaders to move one of their home football games and even prompted them to cancel 3 days of classes. So as their extended fall break is now over this morning, university leaders are hoping that students will return to class for the first time back, and it will be a quiet, normal day of school. That's what they're hoping for. Now, extra police officers will be on campus throughout the day, trying to make sure that that does happen, that this is indeed a safe and quiet first day back. Officers have been here since October 4th, which is when the threatening message was found in a campus bathroom. The threat said in part, "Kill all by October 8th. Since then, investigators have been interviewing persons of interest, trying to find the person responsible for the scare, but no arrests have been made. Police are now offering a $10,000 reward to anyone who can give them information that leads to an arrest. As you would expect, this is something that is weighing heavily on the minds of many students this morning. Again, police will be here in force today. They're hoping that's something that will bring students some peace of mind. They'd rather them focus on their studies than their safety. That's the latest here in Richmond. I'm Mark Barber, WKYT.
All right, thank you, Mark. An Indiana mother is opening up about the experience she went through while her 7-year-old son was lost in the Red River Gorge last week. Her son, Adrian Ross, and his cousin, 5-year-old cousin, Michael Esposito, got lost after they walked away from their campsite to find a hideout while the parents set up. More than 100 people searched throughout the night for the two boys using dogs and a helicopter with infrared cameras. Adrian's mother says it was an experience she never wants to go through again.
It was the most horrible, those were the most horrible hours of my life when the boys were gone.
Well, the search for the boys lasted almost 20 hours before they were found. Adrian's mom says the camping trip was meant to be special for the family because it was possibly the last time the boys would go camping with their grandfather, who has terminal cancer.
Well, it was wonderful that it turned out the way it did as the boys were found. Well, someone made a gruesome discovery in Louisville after a body was found inside a box. Police say some ATV riders found it while on a trail near South Park Road yesterday afternoon. Police say there is no obvious cause of death for the body, but the Louisville Police Homicide Unit is currently investigating. Reaction is pouring in following their first Democratic presidential debate of the campaign season.
Hillary Clinton, Bernie Sanders, Martin O'Malley scored the biggest points of the night. Danielle Nottingham has analysis from Las Vegas.
We're gonna win!
Hillary Clinton continued to rally support for her party's nomination moments after delivering a strong performance in last night's debate.
Being the first woman president would be quite a change from the presidents we've had.
The Democratic frontrunner sparred with her biggest rival Bernie Sanders for much of the 2-hour event.
The American people are sick and tired of hearing about your damn emails.
Thank you. Me too.
I think what we saw over the 2.5 hours was an aggressive Hillary Clinton, was somebody who basically took the email issue off the table with the help of Bernie Sanders.
Sanders, the most searched candidate during the debate according to Google, scored major points for steering the discussion away from controversy and back to the issues.
If I had attacked Hillary Clinton viciously, it would be on the front pages of every paper. You would run it over and over again. That's not what the American people want.
Lower polling candidate Martin O'Malley, who took Sanders to task on gun control, says the night proves the contest is more than a two-person race.
This is the opening kickoff, and for the first time tonight, people see they have a choice.
None of the 5 candidates on stage mentioned Vice President Joe Biden, who has yet to announce whether he will launch a White House bid.
Where is his opening here? If enthusiasm is back on Hillary's side, if the email issue is gone.
Some analysts say the vice president is waiting to see how Clinton handles her testimony before the House Benghazi committee scheduled for later this month. Danielle Nottingham, CBS News, Las Vegas.
And other big political names offered their commentary on the debate via Twitter. Republican presidential frontrunner Donald Trump wasn't impressed by any of the contenders. Potentially no surprise there. While former President Bill Clinton tweeted Hillary proved she was the most qualified candidate.
The 3 women running for Kentucky lieutenant governor squared off in a debate last night. The University of Kentucky Women's Forum hosted a debate at the William T. Young Library. Among the issues discussed, education in the Commonwealth is a focal point.
Kentucky needs to make an historic expansion of early learning opportunities for our youngest students. There are still too many 3, 4, and 5-year-olds in Kentucky that don't have access to high quality learning.
If we do not give parents the choice to flee from failing schools, then we will be having the same discussion in 10 years, wondering why our schools are failing our kids.
The thing that I think is most important for our K-12 is that we have some massive inequalities in our education system. One of the biggest problems we have is that 25% of our children are in poverty.
The polls will be opening on November 3rd for the election.
Friends of a Franklin County teenager who died from encephalitis are making sure his memory lives on. 16-year-old Bradley Kamek was diagnosed with the disease in August after collapsing on a soccer field. He died a few weeks later. Bradley's friends have been collecting plastic caps to make a bench in his honor. They ended up with enough caps for 2 benches, so one will go to his high school, the other to his elementary school.
They felt lost after the loss of Bradley. You could just tell they just didn't know what to do. So this gives them a chance to give back.
They hope to have both benches in place by next April. I'm sure therapeutic for that community. It seems like young Bradley was such a big part of it.
And they still remember the loss, certainly. Time this morning is 5:39. And let's check live drive traffic, see what's happening early here on this Wednesday. Lots of folks on the move out there as we look downtown at Broadway and High Street this morning. We have no reports of any major problems or delays at the moment. Should be a good ride in.
Yeah, looking good. You may have to turn on your heat.
That's true. It's cool out there this morning. All right, a lot more news coming up for you on your Wednesday.
Coming up, we'll tell you about a lifelong fan who finally had her dreams come true.
It is a little bit chilly outside, but at least we have no other issues ahead. Things look great today. They look great tomorrow. But then Friday, things change and big time towards your weekend. I'll show you that forecast coming up next.